Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Welcome. Hello, friends. It is nice to see you. Welcome, newcomers. Welcome. Grab a seat, get some tea, some coffee, and join us on this discussion because we've got some nuggets of information to dig into today. I'm Shannon Gilmore, and you are watching Positively Spiritual. Here we dive into the spiritual aspects, the spiritual dynamics beneath the mask of narcissism. As your peer support counselor, author, and sister in arms, I'm here to help you navigate your way towards your healing journey that allows you to rest in the bosom. Yes, you heard that, in the bosom, in the heart of the divine. We are here gathered together today to discover your self-empowerment. In today's video called "You Are Not the Narcissist Personality Fixer," meaning you cannot fix the narcissist personality. You can't fix their personality problems, my friend, and I want to tackle a question that many of us face, and this is something that Dr. Ramani tried to tackle, and I noticed on her video that she didn't really give an answer, and we're going to give you the answer here, as the answer comes from knowing the narcissist by having the experience. So I want to tackle this question. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining, and thanks for the likes already. This is awesome. It's good to see you. We took a break yesterday, so it's good that we can come back and come together and we can share our stories and share our experiences in dealing with narcissism, and today is no different. If you've got the skinny, the scoop, want to spill the tea, go for it. You're welcome to comment down below and share what you've got going on. Because many of us have wrestled with how do we help someone out of their problematic behavior. I mean, have you ever wanted to tell your friend, your family member, you know what, they can't treat you like this. Why do they always think that they can say whatever they want to say? Next time I see them, I'm going to tell them, I'm going to set them straight. I'm going to tell them what their problem is. And we ruminate in our minds how it's going to go down. Have you ever been there? Yeah, I've been there. I mean, we've gained so much knowledge personally about narcissism. We've discovered the unhealthy patterns. We on this channel have talked about the underpinnings of the spiritual nature. So do you really want to confront a narcissist on their bad behavior when you know that they've got demons and demon attachments? No, not really. Hi, Joe. It is so nice to see you. Welcome. Welcome. Take a seat and join us in this discussion. It's good to see you. So you've also probably have experienced so much about narcissism, you've researched it in detail, that you understand the gaslighting, you understand the manipulation, and you know that the unhealthy patterns of narcissism, that it almost becomes instinctual to want to confront these behaviors and say, hey, buddy, I got your number. I know what you're up to. I know you're gaslighting me. I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to manipulate me. You're trying to make me believe that my reality is your reality, and you're trying to suck me in and suck me dry. Sorry, no thanks, not buying into it. Do we really want to go there with the narcissist? Do we really want to do that? Well, you know, maybe we won't say that or want to say exactly, tell it like it is with the narcissist, but these are people that we know. These are people that we've become fond of, and people that we've come to love and like, and we've even nurtured them. And, you know, we want to help them out of their behavior. Maybe they can't see it. Maybe we genuinely just want to help them see the light. But when it comes to having that talk, I mean, how do we even begin? What do we say without them becoming offended? Now, naturally, you want to address this behavior because you do care, but you also are getting sick and tired of being maligned and undermined and gaslit and manipulated every time you're in a discussion or in the room with this person. See, it's not just about this person and their problem behavior. It is about you. It's all about how you are allowing yourself to be treated. Now, no one likes to be sidelined or dismissed, especially when a narcissist bulldozes through conversations as they ignore our needs. And we find ourselves asking, who gave them the frickin' right to act like this? Truthfully, you did. I did. We did. It was all unintentional, of course. We didn't realize it at first, but when we start to feel the hurt, that's when we can see them clearly for who they are. And often, that's when we've had enough. That's when we are so upset and we're like at our breaking point and we're up to our neck. And, just enough is enough is enough. Hi, Diane. Nice to see you. Welcome. Take a seat. Get comfy. It's so good to see all of you here. Thank you for joining in. We're talking about, do you confront the narcissist in their behavior? I know. Diane says, I know, I did it too. I trusted them. And yes, we trust them. We trust them with our hearts. And that's what makes it so unbelievably convoluted. Nobody wants to be called out on their behavior. I mean, do you? Do you want to be called out? Have you ever been called out on your behavior and some friend of yours or a family member said, I don't like the way that you talk to me, and the other day we had this conversation and I really don't like how you responded. I think you could have responded better like this. So next time we talk and next time that subject comes up, I think you can do better. First of all, it's like we're adults here, so who are you to tell me how I should speak? I'm well aware of how I speak, and it's not my responsibility to tiptoe and dance around your feelings. I know how I deliver things. I know when I take offense or not, and I know how I say things. And if I said something out of anger or aggression, it's because that's how I felt. But genuinely, if I say something, I'm not in the habit of saying something to hurt somebody. We're all in the habit of saying something in defense of our integrity. We're not in the habit of speaking to offend the narcissist. But that's what's going to happen if you decide that you can alter their behavior by talking to them about maybe changing their ways just even a little bit. See, the narcissist, well, they're not going to listen. I mean, just put yourself in their shoes for a moment. If you're ever called out on your behavior, it's kind of embarrassing, isn't it? And Diane says, I assumed they were good like me. They were evil. Exactly. That's the thing. When we go into a conversation or when we want to help somebody out of their behavior, we're assuming that they're just like us. We're assuming that they have the best intentions for us as well as themselves. And no, like you said, they're evil. So when I have to share this with you guys. I was probably about 25, 26. And my neighbor invited me to a woman's party. And it was a female party for bra fitting, as many women do not have the right fitting bra. And this was a new company. I can't even remember the name, but you know, I didn't try on the bras because I didn't like the design. They made you look like you were torpedoes, like triangular torpedoes. And this one girl, she was fit and she barely had, you know, anything to fill her bra. And I'm not making fun of her at all. It's just that she was fit and very athletic, and you know, she didn't have a lot of body weight up here. So like me, sorry. It's just, that's what naturally happens when you keep yourself fit and trim. That's, some people, the first place that you lose weight is right there. And so anyway, so she asked, there was probably about 6 or 7, maybe 8 of us in the group, and most of them are chatting and talking. But the premise is the woman who was selling these bras, she would ask the person to try on the bra and come out and show us all. That's pretty brave, and show us all what it looked like. And so the girl who tried it on, she was fit and trim, and she's asking the group, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? And some girls like, oh, it looks great. Oh, that's awesome. And these are like $100, $150 bras. Like, this is not cheap. These, many of us are, you know, single moms or newly mothers, and we're looking for something to hold us up and support us. And yeah, this wasn't cheap. And we want something that looks flattering and not like, you know, have people just look down here instead of up here, right? Well, I said to her, I said, do you want an honest opinion? She goes, well, yeah, I want your honest opinion, guys. And I said, well, to tell you the truth, you look like Madonna. You know, Madonna was wearing that bra on stage that was pointy. And I said, I'm telling you the truth. I'm being objective. I'm not, you know, I can try one on too, and you can see it on me and it'll look the same. The hostess who invited me got offended. She pulled me aside and basically kicked me out of her party. She grabbed me by the arm and she pulled me aside and she said, we don't do that. And she looked at me and she was like furious. And I'm like, what? I was just telling the truth, because this person wanted to get a sale. And I'm sorry, I will never put people above money. No, 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 no. And so I quietly left. I said goodbye to everybody, quietly left. And for a year, this woman who invited me to this party, we lived like our houses were right basically behind each other. So my backyard faced her backyard. So whenever we were out, we would ignore each other. And for a year, this woman would not talk to me, would not look at me. There was rumor in the small town how she hated my guts. And it was just awful. So the reason why I'm saying this to you is because when you tell the truth, you're always taking a risk. And you've got to do risk assessment. Is it worth it? Yeah, in that instance, yeah, it was worth it, because I was thinking I wouldn't want that to be me, because, you know, I know myself. I'd come home and buy the bra and I'd wear it maybe a couple of times and I'd decide I didn't like it, and I'd be like, why did they not tell me the truth? And I would have been more offended by understanding, and figuring it out. Aha, they didn't tell me because the hostess wouldn't have gotten her hostess prizes for making a certain amount of money, a certain amount of sales. She wouldn't have gotten her kickback. So it wasn't a friend, you know, type of party, group of women getting together. This was all about money. Well, I'm sorry, I've got 3 young kids and I'm wearing this bra that I can't I don't look good in, that doesn't really fit me right, that doesn't look good underneath my blouse. Like, no, I just spent $150 and women can't, who I trusted, I call my friends. Like, I mean, when you're in that intimate kind of situation, like, I expect women to have my back when I'm trying on a bra because that's something that we can relate to, right? I mean, call me wrong, but I mean, there's a sisterhood, there's an unspoken rule, right? Sisters, ladies, we got to stick together, right? And I'm just like, nobody had this other girl's back. Nobody. They were blowing smoke up her yoo-hoo, and I wasn't calling for it. I didn't like it. So I got sent home. I've never been evicted from a party before. I've been kicked out of grade 7 French class, but never kicked out of a party. Wow. Wow. So yeah, so the reason why I'm telling you this is because you gotta weigh the pros and cons, and you've got to stand up for your right for truth. If you're a truth teller, you've got to make that decision. And I would, if I was put in that situation again, I'd do it all over again, and I'd be more vocal about it. I'd be like calling out the women, hey, why aren't you guys telling the truth? You know, tell the truth. Money is tight for all of us, and you guys just want to freaking enjoy the wine and the cake and the cookies and gossip, and, you know, go ahead, waste your money, but I got your back. And if it doesn't look good, I'm not gonna force you guys to wear something that you probably are never gonna wear again because you know yourself it doesn't look good. I don't want you buying something just because, oh, your friend is hosting a party and it helps her out. No. Like, money is tight for all of us. Come on, let's be honest. So when you're in a situation where honesty is always the best policy, but there is a way to be honest about the narcissist behavior without enduring the backlash, and I'm going to share it with you in this video. So stay to the end because we've got some golden nuggets of information. So even if we pride ourselves on being well-mannered or kind-hearted, accepting that we all have our moments of imperfections is a sign of maturity. But not everyone is willing to face the truth, and that's the narcissist. They're not willing to face the truth. So how do we go about helping someone see a part of their personality that they might be causing harm to other people, and they might be damaging the relationships that they have with others because of their bad behavior? Well, they're not so ready to look in the mirror. So with the narcissist, you got to be careful. It's kind of like you got to pick your poison. Hi, Mikey. How you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. So, you know, it's not like, you know, helping a narcissist out of their bad behavior. It's not like, you know, having your friends back when they show up to a party or show up to a gathering and they show up with a bad haircut and you're like, here, take my hat, put this on instead. You know, it's like, it's not like that. This is personal, like soul deep, personal, spiritual stuff. And yeah, we want to expose it, but how do we do that? Because the narcissistic behavior is never going to fix itself. When we try to point out personal behaviors, it's far more delicate because we are dealing with, or rather we are wanting to address someone's behavior, yes. But many of us don't realize that in wanting to deal with their behavior, we've got to address, or we're rather talking to their egos. And if you guys know anything about dealing with your own ego, egos are easily offended. So, in order for someone to be receptive to your criticism or critique of their behavior, they have to already see that there is a problem, and they have to be willing to put in effort to make real change. And here's the stone cold truth, my friend. If you're dealing with a narcissist, they're not going to change just because you point it out. They're not going to change. In fact, they will probably resist you and double down. They're going to dig their heels and claws in and make things worse. Just like the woman, my so-called friend, who invited me to the bra party, and because I told the truth, my friend kicked me out of her bra party and never spoke to me for a year. And I wasn't even that, I don't even think I was offensive. I just said, you know, it kind of makes you look like Madonna. No offense, but that bra makes you look pointy. And that's not what we women want. That's not the effect we're going for. So while we may feel compelled to say something in front of a narcissist, especially when, and I'm not enabling their behavior. I'm getting to something here, because a lot of times we dismiss their behavior because it's just easier to deal with it. It's easier just to let it slide, let it go, rather than make a scene and cause a fuss. But that's not what I'm saying here. It's, we feel compelled to say something because we're done. We're tired of being the brunt of their jokes. We're tired of being the fuel for their narcissistic supply. We're done. We're tired, as we usually feel depreciated, devalued, underscored whenever we're in the company of a narcissist. And yes, we've let it go. Yes, we've, just let things slide. And so why don't we continue to let it slide? Because it's no longer tolerable. We've let enough time go by to recognize that the behavior is not going to fix itself. So, but here's the rub. Why do we feel compelled to finally stand up for ourselves and say something? Because I believe it's because we see their potential. That's why we let it go for so long, because we're hoping that they will see the wrongs that they commit and they'll change their behavior on their own. But when they don't, well, okay, maybe they can't see it for whatever reason. Maybe they're preoccupied. Maybe they just don't see it. But like Diane says, you think that they're like you. And that's the thing. We see their potential. We recognize their so-called humanity. Narcissists often reflect our own emotional likeness back to us without knowing that that's what they're doing. And this is what draws us in, as we assume that if we can change, well, they can change too, because we see in them what we have changed in ourselves. But it's not that simple, because we do not realize that we see our own reflection in the narcissist. We're seeing our own potential, not theirs. So we keep waiting for change to happen, but it never does. But now that we know why it never does, and now we know that the narcissist is not authentically open-hearted and kind, they are actually genuinely closed off, and the little sideline leaks, like the leaks of this come out as we see their mask slip now and again. And because it's so few and far between at the beginning, we think, oh, it's just a one-off. Oh, maybe they didn't see that. Maybe they didn't notice. Or maybe they're having a bad day. I'll let it go just this one time. And then it's like a slippery slope because you've let this bad insults, the hidden innuendos where you're the brunt of every joke, you've let it go 5 times now. And before you know it, it's 10 times and 20 times. And now it's every time you see the narcissist, you are the brunt of their jokes. So this isn't just a one-off. This is regular behavior. What the hell is going on? So I personally have been in a position where I have wanted to help everybody. I mean, I'm a peer support counselor, and I've been doing this since I've been 16. And, back in the day when I first began, when I was so young, I really believed I could take on the world. I believed I could change the world and help everybody. I believed I could help people be better by addressing their flaws. Spoiler alert, it didn't go well. Oh no. I lost friends. I mean best friends. I mean dear, dear, dear friends. Whether I was blunt or not, whether I sugarcoated it, I caused offense and I caused deep wounds and a deep wedge. And now that I'm older as a counselor, I know when to open my mouth and when to stay silent. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way to do this. How do we navigate the tricky waters of the narcissist? Do we tell them? Don't we tell them? Do we stay silent? Do we just enable their behavior? No, we don't enable their behavior. I don't agree with that. So let's explore this right now. And I can hear you say, as I've said this to myself, maybe if I just talk to them like this. No. Maybe you'll say, if I just focus on this area of the problem and dial in on it, what actually went wrong in the conversation, maybe that will help. No. I'm going to stop you right there. Just please stop. Because I need to ask you something before we get to the nuts and bolts of this video. Maybe it's good that you ask yourself this too. Why do you want the narcissist to change? That's the ultimate question. Why do you want them to change? Do you want them to change for themselves so that they can be better for other people? I know this is a tough question, but let's just really explore this. Why are you making these, or why are you wanting to make these heartfelt, seemingly heartfelt attempts to help the narcissist? Is it truly for them, or is it for you? Ouch, I know, ouchie, ouchie. But getting real and getting authentic with yourself hurts. But let's dig deeper on this. Now, of course, you want the narcissist to stop hurting you. It's only natural to want the pain to end. Their cruelty originates with them, yes. So it makes sense that you expect the solution to start with them too, right? It's easy to believe that if you could just get them to see the damage that they are causing, they'd stop. But they don't, do they? And they won't. That's the harsh truth. They can't stop hurting you or others because they lack, you guys know it, they lack empathy. That is why every single time you try to have that difficult conversation with them about that difficult situation, they take offense right away, turning it around all on you, making them seem like the victim and you're the bad guy and it's all your fault. So you can never win. Narcissists can't see the world from your point of view because they lack the filter that allows someone to feel guilty or feel remorse for hurting others. Without empathy, they are blind to the emotional wreckage that they leave behind. Joe says, it's for me, also so they can experience true love. Well, that's an admirable answer. I like that. Yes. Yes, we want them to experience our true love, right? Yeah. But they never will. They never will. And it's not because they're willingly blind to it, it's because they don't have it in them to give. So if it's not in them to give, then they'll never be able to see it. And they'll never be able to reciprocate or feel it. It's like if you've never tasted an apple before, you'll never be able to describe an apple. You'll never be able to know what an apple tastes like. So you're not the authority to recommend apples to anybody. That's the narcissist. They can't love anybody because they never experienced it, because they don't have it in them to experience for themselves or for other people. Diane says, I don't want my brother to go to hell. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. And so the best that we can do is, have respect for the narcissist, because they do teach us something about ourselves. So there's a bit of a righteous respect in the way that God allowed the narcissist to be used to help us to stop avoiding the personality within us that makes us us. We stop avoiding ourselves and we take a look at ourselves and we learn from ourselves as we learn to become our own best friends. And so the narcissist teaches us that, because the narcissist runs from themselves. And we can either follow the narcissist's suit and continue to run away from ourselves and continue to blame other people, or we can take responsibility for our actions and reactions and our feelings now and shift the balance and say, okay, I'm responsible for how I reacted. I'm responsible for what the things I said and did in this relationship. And yeah, it wasn't always good. I wasn't always my best, because the narcissist brought out my worst, but that's what they were there for, to bring out my worst so I could see my worst, so I could change it. So that's where I respect the narcissist. I thank them for that. And so I ask God to have mercy on them, because they helped me. They helped me come into my divinity. And I just appreciate God for that. And I appreciate that the narcissist did that, even though they didn't know what they were doing. So I just ask God to have mercy. So think about this. Friends want friends to be happy. Families want their loved ones to be happy. And you guys have answered this question. That's why you want to address the narcissist, because you definitely want them to stop hurting you, but you do want them to be better people. So I love how you guys answered that. That's pretty awesome. So the thing is, though, the narcissist, because they're a narcissist, they don't think like we do. They don't want anybody to be happy. They don't want any of us to experience joy. They can't share in your happiness. What is shared is a superficial feeling. Just like how negativity has consequence. Well, things that bring in positivity have a consequence or an effect. A positive effect, and that's what the narcissist is feeling, a positive effect from that positivity that they share with you. And it's called enjoyment or happiness, but it's fleeting. It doesn't stick with them. So the narcissist, they feel like they need to rob you of your joy. Why? Because they can't give to you what isn't in them to give. They can't give from the heart when they don't have a heart. So they can't give you joy from the wellspring of their heart if there is no joy in there. So narcissists have no empathy, and that's kind of the glue that holds love together. So if they have no empathy, they have no joy. And if they have no joy, they have no empathy. And the joy of the Lord is our strength, and we can do all things who in Christ Jesus, who is our strength. So that tells us that joy is an inherent or an innate feeling within us. It's an innate nature. It's a state of being, not just a state of feeling. And the narcissist has no true, genuine, lasting joy within them. They do not understand the beauty of peace, so they have to take it from you. They harvest from you. A narcissist mirrors the emotions around them, but here's the thing, any positive emotions that they feel are fleeting, like sand slipping through their fingers. This is why they are constantly chasing something new and chasing someone new. Joe says they don't know what they are missing in life. Exactly. Exactly, they don't. But they think they do, because they're deluded themselves. They're always gaslighting themselves. So the narcissist's emotional attention span is fleeting. It's a moment fulfilled with exciting things, but it doesn't last. And when they can't find it in themselves, they create chaos. And that chaos serves as their way of stripping others of peace and joy, because they can't have peace and joy, so neither can you. Now, here comes a really hard realization here. See, if we truly want what's best for the narcissist, we wouldn't be approaching them with our own personal agenda. I mean, this is how I was in my youth, where, I confront people who were hurting me, and I just wanted them to stop hurting me. Like I personally was narrow-minded, and I wasn't thinking from the point of, oh, gee, I'm going to help them become a better person. No, I just, wanted them to stop hurting me. And I mean, I even did that in my marriage. I would go to God, and I would just like, can you, God, change him to get him to apologize to me and get him to stop hurting me? I wasn't thinking of God changing my ex-husband to be a better person. I just wanted the immediate pain to stop. And so the truth is, if they lack empathy for you, they lack empathy for everyone else. And when we confront the narcissist, are we really thinking of how they treat others? No, I think personally, we're thinking first and foremost of how they treat us and how they're so cruel to us. I mean, that's our ego. It's natural. It's nothing to, poo-poo anything. I'm not trying to cause anybody offense. It's just something that's natural, because until you understand that you're reacting with your ego to the narcissist, who is reacting in their ego, we're butting heads always with the narcissist. And we want them to naturally stop hurting us, because we naturally want to stop the pain to stop. I mean, that's natural. It's okay. As our pain is actually laser beam focused, and we can't help but think of our wounds that the narcissist has caused. We are wanting to talk to them about how they make us feel. And excuse me, if we can change the way that they make us feel, then they'll become better people, and that's secondary. Even though we might hope that calling them out on their behavior would stop them from hurting others, the reality is it won't. Because like I've said, I've tried this many times. Sharing what we know about narcissism with the narcissist will never have a positive effect that you're looking for and that you want. You won't bring about change because the narcissist is blind. They're emotionally blind permanently to the fact that change in them needs to happen. Inner change for the narcissist, like here's what happens if you say, dear narcissist, when we had the conversation at Mom's house last time, and you brought up that I broke Mom's favorite cup. Well, I didn't, and Mom believes that I did, and I didn't. I was nowhere near. I was fishing with Dad. I couldn't have broken the cup, but you were with Mom at the time. You were in the house alone, so maybe you broke the cup, or maybe you're the only one that knows what happened to this cup. And the reason why this cup is such a big deal is because it's the mother's favorite cup, and it has sentimental value to her. But for whatever reason, the narcissist just blamed you, and you're the scapegoat, and you're challenging the narcissist, and that conversation's never going to go well. It's never going to go in your favor. Never. It's just going to make the problem worse. Because to imply that the narcissist is wrong, the narcissist actually thinks that you are attacking their character, because any flaw that the narcissist has it's attached to their character, and that's why they have to have this inflated ego, this sense of the delusions of grandeur that they are the best at everything. And so the narcissist will never admit that they have flaws, because to admit that they have flaws means that they're responsible of change, and they can't take responsibility for anything. So there's a universal truth that goes along with human nature, and that is change can only happen when somebody wants it. The narcissist doesn't want change. Oh, the narcissist wants you to change for them, but the narcissist will never change for you, because to change for you implies control. So that's the ultimate issue right there. If you want to talk to the narcissist about their behavior towards you, you're going to meet with backlash, because they're going to think that you're trying to control them, and there's no way, come hell or high water, they will not allow themselves to be controlled. They will fight you tooth and nail on that one. So we can help facilitate the process of helping ourselves out with the narcissist. There's got to be a better way. There is a better way. There's a different way. We can't force on them their own transformation, because each person is responsible for themselves. And I know I'm going long-winded here, people, but I'm hoping this will help you. We're going to get to the nuts and bolts in this in just a moment, so stick around, because I want to nail this home with you, because I know for myself, I had to go through many narcissists, many friends who were narcissists, female narcissists, male boyfriends, male narcissists that I was married to, ex-husbands, parents, foster families, cousins, sisters, siblings. And it's like I'm finally grabbing a clue now that you're not responsible for anybody but you. You are not responsible for me. I'm not responsible for you. And we are certainly not responsible for the narcissist. The Bible reminds us of this. I just want to leave you with this. Just take this with you today. God says, Jesus himself says, love the Lord your God with all your mind, with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. And the second commandment is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. Well, narcissists, my friend, live by the opposite creed. They hate their neighbor as they hate themselves. That's why they do all this gaslighting. That's why they manipulate. That's why they can't tell the truth. They live by the opposite creed of heaven. They live by the creed of hell. As they create hell, they're crazy makers. The Bible says there's no tears in heaven. Well, the narcissist creates tears. They bring us to tears. They make us cry. The narcissists, because of who they are, have been stripped of empathy. So if you want to confront them, go ahead. You're welcome to that if that's what you choose, but it's not going to be good for you. I'm going to share with you what you can do instead. Now, the narcissist, they have self-pity, but they do not have self-empathy. So you're going to see self-pity disguised as empathy, self-empathy. And you might hope that they see the light, but even if they do, they will never become the light. They will never have a change because they are incapable of loving the light because they can't see it for themselves. They don't chase after it. Now, I've personally witnessed a narcissist admit that they were wrong and acknowledge that they treated me badly. This person even went on their knees and begged me to forgive them. It was a manipulation. I could see right through it. This so-called admission of guilt, it wasn't followed by any real changed behavior, though. And that's what you'll notice. Many narcissists, just because they can admit that they're guilty or they admit that they have a problem. I was traumatized when I was a kid. My mommy did this to me. My daddy did this to me. But there's no self-reflection. There's no inner work being done. Then that tells you something right there. Simply admitting that they have bad behavior, they think this somehow grants them a free pass. Here you go, pass, go. And they get this hall pass where it grants them license to do whatever they want to you. But you know what? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Don't let them hurt you a second time. The raw truth is a narcissist won't change. If they can admit their wrongs without being prompted to you, in the way of even manipulating you, well, they know what they've done is wrong, but they just don't care. They won't do anything about it. And worse yet, they expect you and everyone else to do the same. Turn a blind eye and carry on as if nothing has happened. So if you are waiting for the narcissist to change, to somehow stop their bad behavior and lessen the negative impact that they have on your life, it's time for a reality check. You do have to take matters into your own hands, but do not confront them. There is a better way. You are the one who has to make the change, not them. You. It's about shifting your perspective and adjusting your own behavior, because ultimately that's the only thing that is within your control. Change how you respond is the key to protecting yourself from the emotional fallout of the narcissist's actions, they're not going to stop until you start changing your perspective and seeing them for who they are and putting a stop to it by standing up for yourself, by retaining your self-respect, your autonomy, and your integrity. And when all that comes is through you being authentic and honest with yourself. Have you ever found yourself explaining to a narcissist? Oh yeah, I've done this so many times. I've explained to the narcissist hoping that they'd finally see things from my perspective. No, I've got the text right here. This is exactly what happened. This is what you said. This is what I said in response. Here's the 5 texts that shows the conversation. 2 hours of arguing. Still, they would not admit it. Well, we can see this in the public eye. P. Diddy is still claiming his innocence when there's frickin' proof. He's responsible for providing the world with proof because he's the one that recorded everything. But he's like, no, I'm innocent. That's just how the narcissist rolls. Serious. Have you ever poured your thoughts out to a narcissist, trying to reason with them, only to be met with dismissive, long-winded responses, like that word salad, and situations and scenarios that don't even, like, the grammar, the storyline doesn't even make sense. It's like you're trying to piece together words like a jigsaw puzzle to make a coherent sentence. We've all been there. We've all been there. And it's so common. You can talk to the narcissist till you're blue in the face. They will tune you out, gaslight you, manipulate you, blame somebody else, as they will blame shift. They will do everything to avoid accountability. I didn't say that to you. I didn't hurt you. Well, if you think I hurt you, why didn't you tell me sooner? Oh, I'm so sorry. I would never do that to you. Why do we hold on to the belief that this time will be different? That this time the narcissist might actually change? It's because we're clinging on to hope that this time the outcome won't be the same as last time. And we won't have to suffer through another cycle of devaluation and discard. But here's another harsh reality. Every narcissist is the same at their core. No matter how much time, energy, or love you've invested into one, you're going to invest that time and energy into another. And still, they won't listen. And know this one narcissist that you met now, that's in your life now, that seems to be different than the other narcissists that you know, living with them and maybe sharing memories with them and, you know, seemingly bonding with them or even being related to them. This doesn't grant them a special pass. Bad behavior is bad behavior. And their heart will never, ever mirror yours. They have deceived you into thinking that they are like you. But deep down, I mean deep down, like we're going way deep, like way deep, deep down in their core, their heart of hearts, they have no heart. They got nothing. Don't kid yourself. So many people, and I need to say this because I've been there. I thought that because I knew what I knew about narcissism. And we're learning new stuff about narcissism all the time. But even 4 years ago, I thought, I know a lot about narcissism. I mean, oh, I don't even have my, oh, what did I do? Where is it? I wrote a book about narcissism. So, it doesn't make me an expert, but I thought, okay, I got enough to go on. I can handle the narcissist. Stop right there. Just stop. The biggest mistake you will ever make is this. Do not think of yourself more highly than you ought. If you don't know anything about spiritual warfare, all the psychology in the world, all the certificates, the degrees, the whatever you got going on, and the little certificates on your wall that says you've got the Bachelor of Arts, you're a psychologist, you're a therapist. All of that psychology is, if you don't know nothing about spiritual warfare, those freaking certificates on the wall will not help you. I promise you that. Because when you confront a narcissist on their bad behavior and say, you're a narcissist, and here's the stuff that I've found out and I've researched, and I've seen the gaslighting. You're a gaslighter, you're a manipulator, you're a liar, you're a cheat, you're this, you're that, you're a gambler, you're a drunk, you're an alcoholic, you're a drug addict, you're a womanizer, you're a misogynist, whatever you want to challenge the narcissist on, it's not going to make them become a better person. You're not going to offend them so bad that they reform. It's not going to happen. Here's what I've learned. You truly love the narcissist, and I know you do. Because that's who we are. We are loving people who naturally love with all our hearts, with all our soul, with all our might, with all our strength. We love God that way. We love everybody that way. That's why we hang on, and that's why we go the distance with the narcissist. And psychologists say that we enable. Yeah, we do enable. What does God say? Jesus says, forgive them 70 times 70. Jesus says, turn the other cheek. If somebody wants to steal from you, give them something else. If they want to steal your shirt, give them your cloak. I mean, Jesus let people beat him up. Basically, our God tells us, compels us to take this shit-talking mushrooms upon ourselves and just let the narcissist be the narcissist. How does that seem fair? There is a way around this. But if you truly care about the narcissist, and I'm telling you, you will, you'll care about them for the rest of your life, because love does not, you cannot turn love off. Conditional love, yes. Unconditional love, that's who you are. You can't turn that off. You can't. Love is energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, and love comes from God. So God has no beginning and end. So stop listening to the psychologists that tell you that, you got to stop loving the narcissist. You have to stop loving the narcissist in the way of giving yourself to them. God has healthy boundaries up in front of us so we don't hurt him. Do you guys recognize that? Never thought of that, did you? I mean, 23 years ago when I was attending church, I would hear the elders of the Pentecostal church say, oh, God has big shoulders and we don't want to make God cry, so we stay to the straight and narrow, and we repent because we don't want Jesus or God up there in heaven to cry. He's crying for all of the people who don't come to him. No, he's not. I firmly believe that God is not crying over us because God says there is no tears in heaven. God did not cry over the enemy who turned his heart against God, because God knows the beginning and our end. We are a thought in God's mind, so God knows. God created us as we are predestined. So we had to go through all of this. I guess that's another video for another time. But the point is, the narcissist is to help us get a thicker skin, to practice radical acceptance that the narcissist is who they are, and you are who you are. And God does not force you to be who you don't want to be. God has never said, love me or die. That is in scripture in so many words, yes. However, he has not said to you. You have read those in scripture, and it's your choice to believe it or not. But God himself has never said to you personally, get with me or die. I've never had him say that to me. I've read in scripture, the soul who sins will die. I've read in scripture that those who die by the sword who live by the sword will die by the sword. Those who live by the old law will die by the old law. I've read that. I've read many things, scary things in the Bible. But reading what I've read didn't scare me to the truth. I believed what I read. There's a difference. The enemy scares us into believing the enemy. God presents us with the truth, and the truth is believed or not. It's tested as, we do something that is against the Bible, and we're shown the consequence. So we're like, okay, well, that didn't work. Maybe I should try following the truth. And so we follow the truth, and it's tested to be true. And so we follow it. Nobody is forcing you to make your choice. You have been predestined to make a choice either way. Either you want to follow God or you don't. And the narcissist has made their choice. And so you, who are unconditional love, in your unconditional love for the narcissist, it's a requirement for you to radically accept who they are. That's love. Doesn't mean you're tolerant to it, but you accept that they are who they are, and you allow them to be who they want to be, who they choose to be. You don't chase them and follow them. God does not chase us. He's not sitting there when we're going about our day and saying, oh, why aren't you following me? Come this way. No, don't go that way. Don't drive down that road. Don't go get that ice cream. Come follow me instead. Stay home and read your Bibles. God's not saying that. God's letting us be on our way and do our thing. And he meets us when we come to him. Then he meets us. We're not supposed to chase the narcissist. We just let them do their thing. And If you truly love somebody, you've got to let them be who they choose to be. Let life, with all its lessons, be their guide. If and when they are ready for change, that person will change. See, that's the thing. It's the Holy Spirit's job to change you, and it is the Holy Spirit's job to change the narcissist. It's not your job to change them. Your job is to make decisions that elicit change in you. And that happens when you want to change. You can only change yourself. So, a narcissist will never truly understand your perspective. And that is because your realities are different. They are working from the opposite reality of you are. They are working from the side of hate. You are working on the side of love. So are you seeing this? Even therapists are very cautious when addressing narcissistic behavior. Thanks for the likes. Awesome. Thank you. And thank you for joining, everyone. This is nice to see you guys all in here. You know, a therapist, they're very cautious when addressing narcissistic behavior. You're rarely going to hear a therapist say to a narcissist, or to you for that matter, I know what your problem is. You need to do da 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 da. And a therapist will never say, you know what, in my personal opinion, you're a narcissist. And here's what you need to do to fix it. They're never going to do that. Why? Because they know that direct confrontation with a narcissist never works. There's other criteria involved as well, but seriously, if you call out a narcissist as being a narcissist, you're going to get backlash. You're going to get revenge. You're going to get slammed emotionally. And calling somebody out on their bad behavior is not going to lead to change. It often results in defensiveness, manipulation, or hostility. Now, as someone personally who works with others in peer support counseling, I can tell you that handling narcissism does require finesse. Therapists remain neutral, offering insights and suggestions without emotional attachment to outcome. And this objectivity creates a safe space for everyone who needs therapy. Now, where a narcissist might be open for self-reflection, not because they want to change, but they just might be open to it, because they do not feel emotionally threatened. That's a level of detachment that fosters mutual respect without the emotional investment that friends and family have. So what I'm saying to you is that you may want to call the narcissist out on their narcissistic behavior because you've researched narcissism and you believe that you know enough about narcissism that you can see it out in other people. Okay, I get that. But you can't have that talk with somebody and say, you know what, I'm gonna talk to Aunt Molly and tell her that, she's just too abusive to her kids and to everyone around her and she needs to chill. You can't do that because you don't have objectivity. That's why the narcissist is not going to hear you, because you naturally are close. You naturally are blood related, or you're friends with that person. You're naturally emotionally enmeshed, entangled with them in some way. And so a therapist kind of has an unbiased approach. They have this barrier of objectivity, as there's no emotional attachment to the person that they're trying to help. When you are dealing with a friend or family member who shows narcissistic tendencies, you can't be the one to fix them. You can't fix what's wrong with them because you are naturally at a disadvantage. The emotional line has already been crossed. I mean, friends and family are intertwined with you. They can't and won't take you seriously. And it's too difficult for you to remain impartial and objective. That's why when you have two people who are divorcing, they have a mediator to get involved to help with the divorce proceedings, and this mediator has nothing to do with the family or the individuals. The mediator is somebody who is a stranger to them, who knows the law, but who is a stranger who can mitigate differences with impartiality. Now, I've had people close to me ask me if they think they're a narcissist or not because they want my opinion because I'm the peer support counselor and they just want to trip me up. And so I just respond like this, as I'm kind of careful. I say, I'm too close to you. I'm too close to answer that objectively. But if you're asking me if you're a narcissist, well, I personally suspect that you already know the answer. It's a delicate dance, yeah, and it's one that requires both honesty and distance. So that's what you can say to somebody. If they ask you, am I a narcissist? You can say, well, I'm too close to you to really objectively answer that. You cannot fix a narcissist's behavioral problems. That's plain and simple. You can't even call them out on their bad behavior. And narcissism is very tricky because you're not just dealing with one behavioral problem, you're dealing with a comorbidity. That means that there's another underlying issue, whether that be anxiety, bipolar, maybe depression. But if you are finally ready to draw the line with the narcissist and you had enough and you want to stop, put a stop to the narcissistic abusive ways towards you, here's what you can do. We're going to get to this right now. You can say, you know what? I've noticed tension arises between the two of us when we talk about a certain subject. You can even say what that subject is. And you can say, instead of putting it on their shoulders, you can say, for our peace of mind, I think I would feel more comfortable if we no longer discuss this, as this is my role. This is what I'm taking upon myself. I'm no longer discussing this topic with you because it takes away our peace. So I'm going to just agree to disagree with you on this subject and leave it at that. And, you know, if you want to talk about it, that's fine, but I'm not going to talk about it anymore with you. I've made up my mind. Now, this statement is direct, and you spin it, you change it however way you want that's most comfortable for you. But just remain respectful and assertive, as this reinforces a boundary. Address disrespect head on. It doesn't matter if you have let it go and let it go and let it go. Now's your chance to address it, and how you can address disrespect is do not let it pass anymore. If you feel like you're the target of mockery or the brunt of somebody's joke, sarcastic joke, you can say, you know what? I feel disrespected when you include me in your sarcastic jokes. And you know what? If this continues, I don't want you to do that anymore. And if this continues, where you make me the brunt of your sarcastic jokes, you leave me no choice. Don't just say, I will leave the room. It's like, say, you will leave me with no choice but to then leave the room. You can say, I refuse to tolerate your disrespect any longer. And be sure that if they do disrespect you, you make good on what you said. You make good on your action and leave the room when their behavior does not change. Now, there are many ways that you can stand up for yourself, and these are two ways, two major ways. Is that, when you're with a family, in a family setting, a get together, the major holidays, and it seems like somebody always brings up some sort of the past, and you can say, you know what, brother, this year's going to be different. I'm no longer participating in any discussion about mom and dad or what happened to us in the past. I just don't want to deal with it anymore. So if you want to talk about it, that's your choice, but I'm not going to participate in it. That's when I'm going to leave. I'm going to pack up my bags and I'm going to go home. Give the narcissist an ultimatum and make good on it. Now, as much as you want to stand up for yourself by calling out the narcissist on their bad behavior, that unfortunately is not going to fix the problem. You, my dear, are not the narcissist personality fixer. You cannot fix the narcissist personality problems. What you can do is fix how you respond to their bad behavior. Instead of letting their behavior slide with no change, you change their behavior only through changing your behavior. Do not allow their bad behavior to emotionally control you. Make sense? Empowerment comes from within. By taking control of how you respond or how you react to a narcissist is a sign of maturity. And it bolsters your confidence and will effectively manage how a narcissist acts around you. If you give them consequence to their actions, they will eventually think twice because they won't waste their energy trying to gain a source of fuel from you. If you want to know how you can become empowered in your conversations today with the narcissist, head on over to my Ko-Fi site. There's a link in the description of this video, as I have an ebook available for you. It is called Talk the Talk, Asserting Your Way into Healthy Relationships. You can download your copy and read it within just an hour or two. And if you do, let me know what you think, because I'd like to get in on a discussion with this, because we need to learn how to talk and better communicate with the narcissist. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel. So I just want to recap, okay? It'll be quite short, but you've done the research. You understand narcissism to the best of your ability, and so now you think that it's time that you want to confront the narcissist and maybe not control their behavior, but maybe help them steer out of their bad behavior, because maybe you think you're doing them a favor by helping them out, because maybe they can't see it. Maybe they're stressed. Maybe they don't know much about narcissism. Maybe they do, they just haven't talked to you about it. Maybe you see life from a different perspective that they can't. So maybe you just want to help them out a little bit because you do care. You do love them. And if you can be gentle about it, what's the harm, right? Well, you've probably thought of ways that will make them change. You probably laid in bed at night ruminating over the subject and saying, if I say this, they'll say this. If I do this, they'll do this. And oh yeah, I know what to think. You're keeping yourself awake at night, right? Hi, Algernon. It's nice to see you. Oh, stay blessed too. Thank you. Please come back. I think we've met before, maybe a long time ago. Algernon, your name sounds very familiar. Just come back and say hello. It's nice to see you. So, you know, I'm not here to tell you what to do, and I'm probably not telling you anything that you don't already know. You're welcome to confront a narcissist if you want, but you're taking a great risk. Because most likely when you do tell the narcissist that they're a narcissist and you point the finger and really call them out on things that you may not see are a big deal, but to the narcissist, oh, it's a freaking big deal because their behavior is attached to their character. And so they will character assassinate you. They will take great offense. They will hurt you where they know best to hurt you, in your emotional feels. You're not their fixer. It's not your responsibility to bring attention to their bad behavior. They're responsible for their bad behavior. They're adults. They know what they're doing. But you are responsible to know how you treat others and how you treat yourself. So the best course of action is to become proactive in your own life by putting up those healthy boundaries and saying no more. Know what you're going to tolerate and know what you won't tolerate. Set up some ground rules and decide what is best for you to tolerate. Be firm, but be fair. This is an act of self-love, as we are called to love each other. You're called to love the narcissist, yes, but you're also called to love yourself. Algernon says, first-time viewer, but currently studying enmeshment, trauma, and your outlook is helpful. Thank you. And mending for me. I'll make sure to drop by when I can. Please do. We'd love to have you. Either way, keep up the spiritual restoration. Thank you, Algernon. Those are nice words. Thank you. No, we'd love to have you. Yeah, come back when you can, because I'm telling you, when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we are partying. We've already discussed this several times. We are getting our party hats and we are having an online party, and we'd love to have you. So all of you guys, we'd love to have you. We're going to have a party. I'm serious. This is no joke. We are going to party. Bring out your party hats, your party favors, the sprinkles, the cupcakes, the cakes. It's a drive party, so welcome the punch, but coffee, tea, shakes, whatever, but alcohol, no. We can party without the alcohol, but that's okay. And you're probably thinking, she'll never know. Oh yeah, we'll know, but we'll have fun regardless. So come back and join us when you can. So in closing, don't take what the narcissist says or does personally to you. One of these things that you'll learn is when you set up boundaries, you're going to learn to emotionally pull back or emotionally reel in your feelings with the narcissist. Because standing up for yourself is to treat the narcissist as if you would a stranger, meeting a stranger for the first time. You talk to somebody when, like when you meet somebody on the street and you talk to them just in passing, you're not showing any emotional investment, no personal emotional investment. You're giving them respect and smiling and being cordial and friendly. Well, that's all you need to give the narcissist. Treat them with the same detachment you would give somebody that you've just met. The truth is, you don't really know a narcissist anyways, right? Because they never give you their heart, because they don't have one to give. So don't let them get under your skin. Take back control by taking control of your emotions, and this will give you your peace back. Instead of confronting the narcissist on their bad behavior with your concerns that you have about them, you learn to control your own behavior by learning to control your own emotions. They'll see that as a personal attack on their character when you start poking at them and poking holes in their demeanor and their behavior. And then they'll go for the jugular on you. So don't give them that satisfaction. Control them by controlling yourself. That's it. Fix yourself. That's how you fix the narcissist. Hi, Global Solidarity. It is nice to see you. You say, speak with kindness, truthfulness, and when necessary. Absolutely. So I shared with you guys my story. This was a truthful story. I was invited to a bra party, and this girl tried on a bra, and she showed the group, about 8 of us, and she had this bra on, and she looked like Madonna, you know, the pointy, you know, poke in your eye kind of things, triangular. It was just not a pretty look, and I was honest about it, and my friend kicked me out of her bra party, and never spoke to my friend for a year. She did end up apologizing, but you know, it wasn't the same after that. And I don't think neither of us ever forgot. I never have been kicked out of a party before in my life. So that was new, and I'm sure she never kicked anybody out of a party either. So it was new for both of us, and it was definitely an experience. And you know, truth always wins. So pick your battles. Understand that when you speak the truth, you're going to get pushback. And always stand up for yourself, but there is a way to do it diplomatically without adding injury to the narcissist. So if you want to talk, you know, after this video, if you guys want to talk in confidence about some issues that you guys are dealing with, I'm only an email away. So I'd love to hear from you. So I've talked your ear off enough. Holy cow. I hope you guys got something from this video. I mean, this is, my gosh, maybe you guys got your own bra party stories. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Back in the 90s, there was, you know, bra parties, lingerie parties, and other types of adult parties, and, you know, things that we were trying to do to sell just to make a buck and make ends meet, especially when you're a, you know, struggling family and have a young family, and maybe you were a single parent. It's tough out there. So, but lessons learned, and been there, done that, not doing it again. So I will see you guys here tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And bring your questions, your comments, and suggestions. And, you know, you guys, just thank you so much for joining today. It's been a pleasure. It's been so lovely to see you guys again. It always is. You guys make my day wonderful. You guys make it great. And God bless you. And, you know, keep keeping on. Just keep going. I mean, healing is not easy. And coming into your own self-awareness is a struggle, and some days you feel like you want to give up. Well, can I ask you to make a promise before you give up on your healing and just throw in the towel? Can you come meet with us here first and share your thoughts with us, or talk privately with me? Can you do that? Just one time, and see what happens. I guarantee you're going to get a huge hug, and you're going to feel empowered, and you're going to feel you're going to get the wind back in your sails after talking with us and spending some time with us, because God is here in the details. This is your healing hub, and you're always welcome. So thank you, my friends, for joining, and I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.